How's it going, Guardians? It is your boy Turkey here again, once again at SGN Hub, bringing you a comprehensive review for the Edge of Concurrence, which is the exotic glaive that you see in the gameplay in the background for the Hunter in Destiny 2. This is my favorite exotic in the game, and obviously my favorite of the three class exotics, and I would like to demonstrate the damage. And as you can see in the background right now, we have no Lucent Blade mods equipped. And just for a brief description of what this does for glaives is it just gives you more energy for the block mechanic upon damaging. And obviously with this being an exotic glaive, we're not really too concerned about the block mechanic. It's more along the lines of getting that extra energy to just charge that perk and fire the charged bolt, which hits for a very high amount of damage in my opinion for a special weapon. As you can see with the suboptimal damage, we hit for 1.2 million, and even in this one I do believe this ends up around 1.27 million. And I mess up the first shot, I shoot it unbuffed, so it hits for around 70k as opposed to the 105, 106,000. But we still managed to crank out a very respectable amount of damage on this glaive. And this isn't something that's just kind of random and hodgepodge. It works very well, especially with the Hunter class, so much so that I find it difficult to even use any other special weapon, because with Warden's Law, Lucky Pants, this glaive, and the Crux, you have Slide Shot. It feels like you almost have three heavy weapons. And with how good the ammo economy is on this glaive, you're able to proc this high damage shot so often. And you can see this in the background. It hits for around 103k, and there's another 5k. I don't even know where that comes from at the feet. Maybe that just has something to do with the interaction between the well, but it's hitting on every charge shot as well. And this isn't a gimmick that only works in PvE, and I'll demonstrate that later. But I think next we could potentially move into some PvP gameplay, and you can see how useful it is and understand this glaive from another perspective. It's one of the few glaives that I've used that's a rapid fire frame that I actually like, and the other one, I think it's called Greasy Luck from the Ghost of the Deep. It's pretty decent as well, but it doesn't quite do what this one does. As you can see in the background, this thing it'll track anything. If you shoot it towards something, it'll track it, and that explosion is big, and it also will jolt targets. So with the new mechanics and updates that were put in Season 23 for glaives, and this is universal, it's not just the exotic glaives themselves, they actually recharge energy just passively. So if you don't necessarily have the space to run the two Lucent Blade mods, you can get away with even just one and then hit two shots and then just hang out for a little bit now. And this is the only glaive, and the only glaives, i.e. the three exotic ones, that can really take true advantage of that functionality, just being able to passively generate that. And some of these clips you see in the background, I may or may not have came from around the corner, but you see prior to even hitting a shot, I already have some glaive energy built up. And with also the projectile increase being put in, that just put this in so much better of a spot. And I think rather than trying to delve into the different planes that you can use this thing, a lot of content creators and players in Destiny seem very narrow-minded and just try to use it in one way rather than, testing out the different ways it can be applied to the game. You can see in the background, this is, my build path. I'll have a dim link in the description. But like I said, I have my Warden's Law with 4 times the charm, Vorpal weapon, and then the glaive itself, which is an absurdly high level, but that's just simply because I enjoy the weapon so much. The damage rotation in PvE is really simple, honestly, and the ammo economy, you're going to hear me say that a lot, is really good. So it usually just goes, for me, I'm using Arc, that way I have some continuous damage going on with the super in the background, and I also have the Crux, and I usually just unload all of my rocket launcher, and I'm not even really worried about looking for ammo. It kind of takes away the idea of needing a heavy slot, because when you're running Lucky Pants, you have a heavy weapon in your primary slot if you're running Warden's Law. Most people like Malfeasance, but I think having this glaive in this slot frees up and justifies running Warden's Law over Malfeasance, so you can have essentially, in my eyes, another heavy weapon. And you have copious amounts of ammunition for this weapon, and not only does it do high damage, but it also jolts the targets in the area and can, proc the arc subclass verbs. And if you are amplified, it also blinds targets. And if you pair that with other weapons, I'm sorry, not weapons, if other exotics available to you like Triton's Vice, you get another secondary explosion because you'll also be matching your subclass. So there's a lot of dynamic gameplay for this glaive, and it can be used in so many different ways, whether it be DPS or PvP, Gambit. I don't. Come on, man. Gambit. But whether it be endgame, PvP, but whenever you run out of heavy ammo, you can just swap to your glaive, and this is for this build specifically. I use this glaive even if I'm not running Lucky Pants, to be honest. I try to find ways to use it in Grandmaster Nightfalls, but now with it having intrinsic jolt on the charged shot, you can use it to overload. And I've been booted out of LFG groups because they didn't understand how useful this was, or don't really seek to explore the other avenues of playing this game beyond the established meta. And I think if Bungie themselves as developers would kind of push a little bit more attention towards, I'm not saying these 3 exotic glaives in particular, but rather than paying so much attention to the meta, genuinely look as to what could be available. And because I find so much utility in this that it's hard that I find it hard to believe that I don't see other people using it. Like I said, I will have a dim link in the description, and this was really just meant to be like a comprehensive video and just show you the variety of things you can do with the Edge of Concurrence, and just kind of solidify why it is my favorite exotic in Destiny. But once we do get to the damage results, the summary here, you can see with these 3 things, I was able to put out nearly 7 million damage. I don't know if that's solid, but I felt like I was doing a lot of damage, and we're close to 7 mil. They're doing, that's 2 people. I did roughly 2 people's worth of damage there. And I think that's solely due to the fact that one of them maybe was running Polaris Lance and Cataphract. I don't know. But to be able to put that much damage out, have that much utility in a glaive, I can't pass it up, and I don't think you should either. And like I said, the dim link will be in the description, and I hope you give it a shot. If you think there's any improvements I could make to it, please feel free to leave those in the comment section. If you found anything useful in the video, please like, comment, subscribe. I will be diving deep into Destiny content on the channel. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I will be releasing another video which will dive into my new Titan build, which involves the new sword, the Slammer Adept. But we'll talk about that some other time. If you want more Arc Hunter builds, there's another one that I've posted on the channel. I'll also provide the link to that. But like I said, it's your boy Turkey here at SGN Hub. Love you guys. Peace.